good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my beautiful solar flares and solar flare-ettes. You know what time it is. We're back at it with the Cafe Flair on Chap. So we left off on chapter 6. It looks like we're going to be going over Ignis's chapter, but if I had to pick one, I think I would go with number 2, because it seems like we're on the same wavelength with the Atom games. And you know, I like my BL, my Yuri, I like all genres. So let's begin. I came across it by chance. I talked to it on a whim even. Oh, not this scary sound again. Cute.
あ、そこのちみっこいの。んなとこで何してんだ。ぼーっとしてるとあっという間に狩られちまうぞ。なんだお前。見たことねえ面だな。つか、それ以前に魔獣か？どうも見てるこっちが気の抜ける顔してやがる。ん？俺が？俺。
Curious about this weird creature, he reached out his arm lit in flames, but
名乗ったところでビビらせるだけか。
how he's thought of in this world and how everyone reacts to Ignis. I recalled those memories and thinking what would happen here, I pulled back. Now I'm just going to be in Ignis's body. And then, Yukururu, excuse me. For some reason, it just stared at my face with this searching look in its eyes. Oh, look at Ignis taking care of some little creature called Q, or saying Q. I'm just going to name it Q since it just keeps saying that. And right into my stomach, it tackled me with precision. Back at Enchanté. Yay, my new worker, Karia. He said curry rice, chilled cooking. Is that cooking? Right, ice curry? I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. He's like, I ordered a regular curry, bro. No, that's what he can make. That's all he can make is ice curry.
Master, この子にホット系の注文を運ばせるのはやっぱり難しいみたいだよ。
Huh? What do you... Well, what? This curry's totally frozen. It was still hot when I handed it to Karia. We're gonna have to control that, Karia.
だね。俺の頼んだブレンドもカッチコチに凍ってるし。
He's just like, what do you want from me? Ah, right. You don't deal well with hot things in general, huh? I'm sorry I didn't consider that. Karia didn't look irritated. He seemed depressed. But it hadn't even been a week yet since he started coming here regularly, and he can't help making mistakes. After the ancestral relapse incident, he began working part-time at Enchanté, considering it was in between the human and fairy worlds. Of course, it wasn't exactly within labor regulations to have him working, considering his age. So for his pay, we're providing goods that he wants, that we can get our hands on, equal to what I pay a normal staffer. But all I want is for him to not worry about the work so much and just enjoy his time here.
ま、カリア自身が頑張りたいってお手伝いしてくれてるんだし、こういうのは笑って終わりってね。
そうだね。カレー別に冷たくても美味しくいただけるわけだし。
Cold curry though, I don't know about that, y'all. I might have to try it though.
ありがとう。徐々にだけど。
I actually never had Japanese curry before. I've always had Indian curry, so I know there's a slight difference in the spices. Oh, come to think of it, Karia, you've been going to Medio every day since you started working, right? For a little bit of time at least. I know it's new territory. Let me know if you ever need help. Karia eyes look my way as he responds.
別に俺は平気だよ。
Oh, look at that slight smile. So cute.
メディオに行くときはあの口の悪い人がいろいろと世話してくれるし。
That person, veneer. The rude one, he must be talking about Vania. I just call her veneer. Veneers. Although I'm sure it'll be fine if we leave Karia to them.
少年、彼女が気にしてるのは身の安全のことだけじゃないよ。君が妖精たちの姿や価値観を見て、自分自身の存在について悩まないか心配してるんだ。
お前はまだ向こうの空気を吸う目的でしかメリオを訪問していない。しかしいつかは必ず自身と根源の近い妖精と接触し、己の生態を知ることになるだろう。
Karia, I can't tell you what's best for you, but don't forget that ultimately you're the only one who can decide how you want to live your own life.
分かってる。ちゃんと受け入れていくって決めたから心配しないで。
Alright then, if there's anything about Medio or anything else that's troubling you, let me know.
ありがとう。頼りにならないけど頼らせてもらう。
He blushing. I can't. I'm a whole adult woman. Am I supposed to be happy hearing that?
年頃の照れ隠しってやつかな。
As I tilted my head questioning Karia's evaluation of me.
マスター、マスター、今日時間は空いていますか？あなたに降り
Yay,
てお
number
願
two,
いがあ
my
ります。
fave. Gracefully flying down with disregard for the stairs that were clearly available was the falling angel we hadn't seen in a
う
while.
わ！びっくりした。
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen number two flying yet, huh? Number two, try not to fly too much when we have guests here, please. See, your feathers fly everywhere and get in the plates and cups.
ああ、これはすみません。はしたないことを。
Yes, very uncouth of you. So, what do you need my help for? It's unusual to see you in such a panic.
確かにその自覚はあります。ですがそれも致し方ないことなのですよ。実は可能ならば今日中にここに私を連れて行ってほしいのです。
Number two moves a large tablet to his chest so that everyone could see. On the screen were colorful and fun drawings of fish and dolphins. SeaWorld? Aquarium. Well, we got SeaWorld. We have an aquarium here too in St. Louis that was built last December 2020. Just before, well, excuse me, December 2019, before, you know, everything that happened. And I still haven't been. I just think it's a bit too expensive for not to say the city, but St. Louis, we have a whole lot of free attractions. So with the aquarium being $25 a person, I'm like, y'all, come on. But I'll go eventually. I'll even put it up for you guys whenever I do decide to go. So is this the website for the aquarium?
おう、ここを通りかかったことあるよ。結構お客さんの入りもいいんだよね。
You want to go there? Everyone looked at him surprised. I'm sure number 2 would gladly agree to go with us if we were all heading somewhere, but actually he wouldn't normally want to go anywhere that isn't related to a tome game. I always want to say atome, but I think it's really pronounced atome. A tome game.
水族館。行ったことはないが、話には聞き及んでいるぞ。人間界の多種多様な海洋生物を大衆向けに展示している施設だったか。
ビルが水族館に興味？そりゃ
ミシェ
A holy
ル、これは
site.
いわゆる聖地巡礼というものなのです。
Okay.
今日知ったのですが、この水族館はとある乙女ゲームのデートスポットとして
I'm not gonna lie, I'll be doing that too.
作品のファンとしてはぜひ主人公たちが実際に立っていた世界を
That's why I'll be jigging with number 2.
なるほど。
ああ、そういう理由ね。
It was very kind of Canis to nod in support without knowing what was going on at all. But why today? The request is a little last minute.
それが明日からこの水族館は
Oh darn.
リニューアル工事で一時休館してしまうそうなのです。
I would want to go too. I'd stake my life on it.
肝心の聖地が姿を変えてから行っても意味がありません。なのでその前にどうにかと。
I see.
あのさ、なんでわざわざマスターを同行させるの？行きたいなら一人で行けばいいじゃん。
その意見はもっともですが、私一人ではミシェルが許可を出してくれませんので。
He's like, you darn right.
え？
I only came to know this recently too, but it seems like number 2's generally not allowed to be out on his own. Mr. Demon King looked into the distance, nodding.
ビルはなんというか見た通りの世間知らずだからね。一人で行動させると危なくてさ。前にこっそり抜け出した彼が1週間戻ってこなかった時はさすがの俺も肝が冷えたよね。
最終的には某国の富豪子息だと勘違いされ、誘拐されかけていたところを発見したのだったな。
どういう経緯をたどればそんな珍妙な事件に巻き込まれんの？
I was also really curious about that, but I'll save that question for later. Right now, a trip to the aquarium right now, huh? I'd like to fulfill number 2's request if I can, but we're in the middle of business hours. Even if they're just the usual faces, I still have my guests to wait on. As if seeing how I was pondering over the matter, Mr. Karu waves his hand over his cooled cafe Ola.
僕なら構わないよ。むしろ行くならご一緒したいかな。水族館なんて何年ぶりだろう
Well,
ね。
go ahead and flip that open to closed on a hoe.
我も同行しよう。レディオにない文化。感想を持ち帰れば、ティターニアが喜ぶであろう。
I see, then.
そうだね。それだけメンバーが揃ってるなら。でも一応俺も同行しよっかな。
俺はパス。留守番してるよ。 実はその
Oh, he's like, boy, y'all hella old. I already went to that joint. I feel you, Karia.
それに全員がここを出るのはまずいんでしょ。借りた漫画でも読んで暇つぶししてる。
Yeah, that's a good idea, kid. Okay, is that alright with you then? You can let me know if anything happens. I immediately go up to my room and finish getting ready to go out. And after turning over the plate to signal we were closed for break, we leave on Chap. Following my map app, we all walked along the road together toward the aquarium.
自らが愛する作品へ自身を投影し、よりその感情を好みに移していく。気が早いことは理解していますが、すでに今から興奮を抑えることに苦労しそうです。
テンションが高いイルってなんだか新鮮だね。
イルは乙女ゲームが関わるとだいたいこんな感じだけどね。でも外の世界に興味がないよりは全然マシなのかな。
我々人外といえど適度な運動は必要であろう。こういった散歩もいいと思うぞ。
どうかした？
Oh, it's nothing. Looking from the outside, our group really stands out. But with Mr. Demon King's tricks, we've been able to get by without attracting any unwanted attention. But was this alright? We all went without letting Ignis know. Right, it was on my mind as we walked. I was hesitant to leave Ignis, who returned to Bestia just yesterday at noon, out of it.
そのあたりは仕方ないさ。各々の生活事情というか世界が違うわけだし、全て一緒に行動するっていうのはなかなか難しい。
It would be nice if y'all had a group outing, though.
それにイグニスが水族館自体に興味を抱くかもわか
He
らない。
actually would. He has that cute creature friend pet thingy.
イグニスの場合はどっちかっていうとお寿司屋さんのが興味あるだろうね。
You're right. I can already hear him whining about lunch. Yeah, at the very least, we should get him a little souvenir on the way out. I just hope there's something he'd like.
マスター、水族館に行ったらまず水中トンネルとやらに入りましょう。そこで主人公たちが楽しそうに魚を眺めていました。私も同じ視界を体験してみたいのです。
ほんと目をキラッキラさせちゃって、これは絶対生きがいがあるね。
I agree.
ああ、それとそこで壁ドンのイベント CG を再現し撮影できれば。
I wonder who he's thinking of having recreate that Kabidon. We continue walking, and eventually the voice from the map app announced that we had arrived at our destination. The streets connecting to the aquarium were lined with cars. I'm sure plenty of these people wanted to enjoy the aquarium in its untampered state before it closed for construction.
これは徒歩で来て正解だったね。車だったら駐車場に止めるだけでどれだけ待たす。
Yeah, huh? So it looks like the entrance is just straight ahead. Who the heck was that? Here? A scream followed by a crashing metal. Someone crashed their car. All of us looked to see what had happened. With the commotion along the line of various colors of cars that led to the aquarium, some of them were flung high up in the air. What? I let out a scream as car after car flew into the air, falling to the ground, their frames twisted. It was an incredible sight, and with the impact still sending shocks through my body, I almost couldn't believe it. What's happening? Was there an accident, or is this an earthquake?
何事も何も。ほら、ああいうことじゃない。
Mr. Demon King points back toward the roads that lead to the aquarium. Car after car continued to go flying, leaving the streets strangely bare, and in the center of it all... Oh, darn. There was a giant bull-like monster the size of an SUV. Number 2 had never seen or heard of a giant bull like this. From what I could see, unlike normal bulls, what was on its 4 feet was an abnormal amount of muscle growing around them. It was...
ベスティアの魔獣？そうだろ。なんであんな大型のやつがこんな場所に？
I know this ain't the grown-up cube pet. What? A demon beast? That's what this is? For a moment, I couldn't really swallow what Mr. Karu said. After all, not only by its appearance, but it just feels so different from Ignis.
彼が例外中の例外なだけで、ほとんどの魔獣がかなり凶暴なんだよ。
I didn't know.
激高と興奮のままに暴れてるって感じ。喋るほどの知能はないっぽいけど。
I noticed that despite the chaos, most of the people around have taken cover, with only a few people still in the vicinity.
適正反応。あの魔獣、我々を標的と見定めたようです。
こちらの力を嗅ぎ取ったのだろう。我らが固まっていれば致し方ない。
What? With a grunt, the demon beast's eyes glare at us with even more ferocity. With incredible speed, it charges right for us.
カヌス、
You messing with the wrong person, bull.
心得た。
The instant he responded, Canis flies toward with a speed unbefitting of his size. And right after, grabs the horns of the charging demon beast, stopping it right in its tracks. He gave it a wild swing, throwing it out into the empty street. The demon beast quickly got back up, and Canis runs at it once again. This is really exciting. I wonder what happens. Tame it, Canis! You got it! The charging beast was stopped once more and thrown back into the ground. Mr. Demon King and number 2 simply looked on with completely relaxed composures.
こちら情報課のリンド。今から送る位置にすぐ陰徳部隊を送ってくれます。細かい事情は後で説明するんで、とにかく急いで。
Mr. Karu, treating it like an emergency, was in a panic, contacting all sorts of groups from within the GPM. Fighting bulls on TV couldn't compare at all. My mouth was agape, staring at the scene of the area getting wrecked with each crash, from Canis tossing the beast. Should we help him?
大丈夫大丈夫。もう終わるからさ。
Huh? It must have spent its last bit of strength. The demon beast that was battered over and over got up on trembling feet, and as it glared at Canis, a ball of fire came down from above. It struck the bull's head with great force. Unable to even let out a groan, its head practically dug into the concrete on impact. The one that subdued the demon beast from above swiftly fell to the ground. It's Ignis!
あ？んだよ、カヌスが相手してたのか。なら俺が出張ることもなかったな。
Ignis! Afterwards, We handed over the demon beast on the ground to the GPM agents Mr. Karu called in. Right after they left, several police cars and ambulances came. It really was a miracle. Even the people in the cars getting tossed around didn't sustain any serious injuries. Able to avoid police questioning, I head alongside the road and watched as the aftermath unfolded. Mr. Karu was also running this way and that with the GPM agents, taking care of the cleanup. Ignis, why are you here?
あ、別に。暇つぶしに偶然ぶらついてただけだ。そら今揃って俺を置いていきやがって。
Aw, he has heard about that. We ain't leave you behind, boy. ...
まあとんだハプニングがあったけど、ひとまず解決したことだし、とりあえず俺たちは先に水族館に。
チェ、水族館、今日はもう閉
Oh,
館だって
great.
よ。
Now the aquarium's closed and then construction begins tomorrow. Sorry, number 2.
あんな騒ぎが目の前の通りで起きたらしゃあないわな。
つうかさ、なんだったのさっきの。道路とか車がえらいことになってたけど。
そう。なんか牛がどうとか。
A bull from an aquarium. Come on, young boys.
いやいや、牛。
Right,
思い
come
っき
on.
り陸上
That's
生
why
物じゃん。
young boy A answered correctly. I'm like,
水
B,
族館
you
に
need to
大
go
喜利
back
は
to
絶
school.
対いないよ。
From all of us. Responding to the conversation of the boys that passed by, witnesses to the incident. Look at his face. He's totally out of it.
無理っぽいね。
Oh. Number 2 crumples and his knees fall to the ground.
どうしたんだ
He said, the hell wrong with that guy? Ignis, unknowing of our situation, raised his brow in confusion. Just like those boys had said, there was no way we'd be getting into any businesses after all of that. Leaving Mr. Karu still busy dealing with the aftermath, we returned to Anshan, all the while consoling number 2. I know we were supposed to see the aquarium, but who could have predicted that, right? For now, I'll pour you some nice tea or juice. Take a rest, okay? Oh, number 2. I could see 2 had no energy in him at all.
まあまあいる。甘いものでもおごるからさ。それ食べてからゲームで遊べばいいよ。
形は変わってしまうかもしれんが、また水族館には別の機会に。
Oh, he wanted to go in its original appearance. Now it's going to be different from the game he played. And it may not even have the same spots he was going to take a picture in front of. Meow.
ったく、お前らは箱入りを甘やかしすぎだっつうの。あ、
Right as I put my hand on the doorknob, Ignis suddenly spoke again.
言うの忘れたぜ。そういや、ベスティアから土産を持っ
Hopefully
て
it
きた
wasn't that bull. It was that bull, wasn't it? A gift?
何？敵の生首？
な店が汚れるようなもん持ってこねえよ。まあ、なんだ、入りゃ。
... I felt confused as Ignis kept mumbling his words and entered through the door. Hey, we're back. Karya, thanks for stay.
うわー！やめろって追いかけてくるなよ。なんなんだよお前は。
Karya was running all around Anshan, and as if it was chasing after him, there was a small white object rolling around on the floor.
何事だ
Oh, what button was that? Oh, okay, I got it now. It's that. Okay, now I know how to go and... Alright. Sweet. Now we don't have to worry about missing out on dialogue and me making it up.
カリアが何かに追いかけられてるのかな。
Is that a white ball?
ちげえって、よく見ろ。あれが土産だ。
It's the cue. What? As if responding to Ignis's voice, the ball suddenly came to a stop. Cue! It bounced up off the floor right where it stood and did a full spin over itself, gracefully landing on top of a table, the gift that Ignis brought us. Oh, so cute. Looked straight into my eyes. Dot dot dot. What is that?
だから土産だっつってんだろ。お前にやるよ。よく話題になってんじゃねえか。店にいると客が寄ってくる看板なんたらとか言う。
Oh, it would be a nice poster pet. Yeah, but this isn't like a cat or a dog. Yeah, it's not like me, y'all.
なんなんだよもう。店に来た途端こんな変なやつを俺に押し付けて、自分は勝手に出かけて。
入店早々人に暑苦しいだの悪態吐きやがったてめえが悪い。つかその変なやつだけどな、こんななりでも立派にベスティアの魔獣だぞ。
It just has to grow up. The small demon beast squeaks in agreement upon my lap. As it does, it looks up at me with its big round eyes. This thing is too cute!
まあ見た目だけはね。戻ってきた時
A giant rice
一瞬
cake.
巨大な大福かと思ったよ。
Mr. Karu seemed to have taken care of most of the cleanup. He had a look of surprise as he caught up with us after entering the cafe.
それにしても人懐こいな。感触も柔らかく、なんとも愛くるしい。
そうですね。私の部屋のぬいぐるみ棚へとコレクションとして加えたいぐらいです。
Right. This little gift was even cute enough to cheer up number 2 after the aquarium shock.
にしてもイグニス、君も可愛いところがあるじゃない。親とはぐれた魔獣を保護してあげるなんて、捨てられた子犬を拾う、古き良き不良みたいな漫画とかでよくあるやつだね。
うるせえ、俺だってそんなつもりはなかったんだ
Yeah,
よ。
he's a Sunday.
ただなんか妙に懐いてきやがって、ベスティアのどこに移動してもついてきやがるから、そんで仕方なく。
It followed you?
イグニスの移動速度に劣らないということですか？見た目からは想像もつきませんね。
More like Ignis was probably walking slow.
ああ、海の中を泳いで移動すんだよ。
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
パークスなんて呼ばれるだけあって、そのスピードも半端ねえから、振り切ることもできねえし。
But I'm sure not all of Beastie is covered by a sea or oceans.
パークス？この子が？ベスティアで唯一海中に住んでるっていうあの？
お、GPM はこいつのことも把握してんのか。意外と真面目に仕事してんの。
Jelly donuts. He called you a copper.
へえ、リンドウのリアクションからしてこの子は相当に珍しい種族なんだ。
ま、一生のほとんどを海中で過ごすような連中だからな。幸運の象徴になる程度にはレアなやつだよ。かくいう俺も最初はこいつが何なのか全然わかんなかったぜ。
Ignis continues to tell his story.
んで、多分こいつは群れからはぐれた生まれたばかりのガキだ。まとわりつかれてうぜえし、本当はとっとと親元に突き返したかったんだが。
なるほど、把握したぞ。 海中に住まう種族ゆえにそう簡単に同族が見つからないということだな。
そして捜索を諦めた末に一人にするぐらいならとアンシャンテへ連れてきたわけですね。
Hopefully I don't need to get a water tank. I'm sure I do. It looks like he's doing okay. He or she, I'm not sure what the Q pet is called or gender. But I think I probably need to get a water tank. Ignis nods in agreement.
いや、だからってここの看板アザラシにするのはどうかと思うけどね。
Yeah, maybe it'd be better if we decided after trying to look for its parents a little more. I'm sure they're worried.
生きてりゃ。
Oh, what do you mean if they're alive? What do y'all eat them? Ignis?
別に。
Ignis, irritated, looks away from me. He seemed in a bad mood all of a sudden, but I hope I didn't do anything to upset him.
なんだ、簡単な話じゃない。俺たちがその子の親を探す手伝いをしてあげればいいわけだ。
はあ？
Are we going to
それ
Beastia
じゃあ行
now?
ってきます。見つかっても見つからなくても夕方くらいま
Oh
でには
no,
戻
let
っ
me
て
come
く
with
る
you,
よ。
Mr. Demon King. Okay, Mr. Demon King puts back on his robe and speaks as if he were just going out for some fun. And in contrast,
どうしてこうなった？
Mr. Demon King #2 and Canis, in contrast to his longtime fellow non-human acquaintances, Ignis was despondent. The lost sea demon's parent search corpse was suddenly found by Mr. Demon King. In other words, Mr. Demon King and the others would enter Bestia to find the Demon Beast King's, parents. It's just considering what I just heard. That rampaging demon beast from earlier. The demon world Bestia is filled with dangerous creatures just like that. It's so dangerous that even those GPM agents who go there to conduct their research who conduct their research are you if you let down your guard. I'm just gonna read it as is. You could easily die. Told this several times by Mr. Karu and Ignis, it was decided I would stay here along with Mr. Karu and Karia. Dang, I wanted to see Bestia. Well, you know, Ignis, Mr. Demon King, and the others really might find his parents.
その前にこいつらが何かやらかす予感しかしねえ。でもまあ確かに今さらうだうだ言っても仕方ねえ。こうなったら腹くくるか。吹雪がマシなうちに行くぞ。ほら、とっととそのちみっこいのをよこせ。
No, it's mine. Oh, okay. Good luck then. I hope you find your parents, Kororo.
コロロ
Right. I was like, when the heck did he get a name? Yep, it's this little guy's name. Thought it might be tricky without one, so I gave him one just for now. Oh, and I named him that because...
体格が丸くてコロコロしてる。
Wow, Karia, how did you know?
何もそのまんまだし、わからないはずないと思うよ。
まったくだ。お前ネーミングセンスねえのな。
So what would you name him, Ignis? What would you name him? I'd like to hear that. I wish you two would stop being on good terms exclusively at times like these. Suffering some damage eternally, I hand off Kororo to Ignis. A Pecos child. However... What? Tiny paws grabbed desperately onto my arm and didn't seem to intend on letting go.
おいこら、何だだこねてんだ。
Ignis tries pulling Kororo's body lightly, but he doesn't budge in the slightest. After trying the same a few times, I could practically hear one of Ignis's veins on his forehead pop.
離れろやこのクソガキ誰のための遠征だと思ってやがれ
Ow! Wait, Kororo, your claws are digging into me! Ignis, you're pulling too hard. Kororo's body will tear apart. Although it almost felt like Kororo's grip was stronger than Ignis's monstrous strength.
もしやこの子マスターと離れるのが嫌なの
Of course not. All my pets love me.
そういえば保護されてからずっと彼女にばかり甘えていたな。この短時間で懐かれたな。
Well, that's sweet, but problematic, isn't it? Looking at how stubborn he was, Kororo didn't look like he wanted to let go of me one bit. Okay then, Kororo, do you want to stay here at Enchanté?
そりゃ無理だこいつが例外なだけで基本パークスは警戒心が強い仮に群れを見つけたとしてもこいつがいなけりゃ俺らの姿を見た途端に逃げ出すだろうよ
Ah, I see. Even if all of you would have a hard time chasing them underwater. ... I know I already asked, but can I...
ダメ絶対ダメ
Buzz Killington again.
絶対連れてかねえぞ
They must have known what I was about to ask. Both Mr. Karu and Ignis beat
さ
me
っき
to
何度
it.
も言い聞かせたけどなあそこはお前みたいな弱っちいやつには危険しかねえ世界なんだよ
Right. However, the so-called last boss group named by Mr. Karu thought the danger to be quite insignificant.
俺は別に反対はしないかな。俺たちがいればこの子の安全もなんとかなるでしょう。
Mr. Demon King didn't have a care in the world. Flustered by his attitude, I imagined Mr. Karu would call him out for it. Then...
ミシェルそう気軽に言わないでくれるかなメディオとは違うんだベスティアはただそこにいるだけでも命を奪おうとする危険な世界それに例のゲートの不具合だって
Yeah, I don't want to be separated from you guys.
彼女に何かあってからじゃ遅いんだ何度でも言う人は簡単に死ぬんだよ
He spoke in a deeper voice than usual, so much that I couldn't recognize it. Mr. Karu, I felt as if he was much scarier than usual, somehow. Mr. Karu? As I called out to him in hesitation, Mr. Karu clasped his mouth, his eyes wide open.
ごめんついムキになっちゃってでもそれだけ危険な世界だからさ僕は断固反対
Mr. Karu, who was usually so relaxed, was being very serious about the matter. I'm continually reminded, with jokes aside, this world they're going to skirts death around every corner. Honestly, I'm not sure what to do either. I want to help Kororo, but knowing I'll be in the way if I go along, I can't really say that I want to go. As I stood there indecisive, the one who pushed me to make a decision was...
でもさここで諦めたら本当にこいつ一人ぼっちになるんだよね
It was Karya's saddened voice.
正直こいつのことはいきなりひっついてきて鬱陶しいと思ったけど家族から引き離されて見知らぬ世界に放り込まれるとかそれってある意味みんなと出会えなかった場合にあり得た俺の可能性なわけでしょな つがそれと同じ目に遭うのは。
Karya? Ignis and Mr. Karu's eyes wavered at each of his words as he made his way through them. I won't do anything dangerous. I trust in everyone. Let's say that. I look right at Ignis. Ignis, it's an undeniable fact that I'm weak, but I'm still the owner of Enchanté.
ああ、だからなんだってんだ。そんな理由で俺が納得するとでも。
No, it isn't. I know better than anyone that my regulars are the strongest people there are. That's why I fully believe that I'll be able to come home safe, no matter what. If I went with you all by my side, although I know all I'm doing is depending on the strength of other people.
くっさ、お前ほんと立ち悪いな。まだ綺麗事ばっか並べられた方が一周できたっても。
But if you turn me down, then you're admitting that you ain't got no strength, Ignis.
まあまあイグニス、君のことを
Hey, I'm gonna go to Bestia.
無論油断は大敵。不測の事態も考えるべきだろうが、その信頼に応えてみてもいいのではないか。
The one who gave the final push after my argument was Canis.
それにこのアンシャンテにいる以上、異世界との交流は避けられぬ。先ほどの魔獣しかり、以前に話した偶発的に入ってくる危険な人外しかり、そういった危険な世界や人外がいるという事実も、彼女綺麗なものだけを見せておけばよいというのは、いささか極論のように思える。綺麗なものだけを見せておけばよいというのは、いささか極論のように思える。
Finally, he takes a step towards Mr. Karu.
無論、我らも本気で彼女を守る気概ではいるがな。
そうですね。これは最悪の場合ですが、ベスティアをある程度消し飛ばしてでも彼女を守り。
Number 2 said, I'll obliterate that place.
当然、俺も魔王様らしく力の出し惜しみはしないよ。
カヌス、圧がすごい。分かったから一回離れてくれる？まあ確かに君らが揃ってれば大抵の災害や危険はいたずらレベル。むしろベスティアの方がやばいよね。
So then
そこから不本意だけど許可を出すよ。ただ当然僕も一緒に行くよ。危ないと判断したら即撤退だからね。
I'm happy. I get to go to Bestia. Thank you.
よかったじゃん、お姉さん。あと
As I bowed in thanks, Mr. Karu gives me a small smile, waving off my gesture. He was helpless as he looked at Mr. Demon King.
小さな魔獣一匹のために異世界に行く人外たちか。時々思うよ。君たちともうちょっと早く知り合ってたら僕の人生違ってたかもってね。
あいにくと時間を操る能力は持ってなくてね。
そりゃ残念。
And during all of that, Ignis remained the only one standing there, silently yet to give his approval. They originally would have left immediately, but with the humans, myself, and Mr. Karu coming along, it was a different story. It was decided that we should postpone our departure, get a good night of sleep to rest our bodies, and leave the following day. The best advice for any road trip or just any travel period is to get a lot of rest, hydrate, and don't forget to fill your belly up. I know that I need to, but I just can't get to sleep. It was because I was nervous. Even though I made my decision, it was still a dangerous world out there. Knowing that got my nerves all worked up. Unable to lie still, I got up from my bed. So cute. I just want to gobble him up. Still not wanting to separate from me, Kororo was fast asleep, snoring adorably next to me. I am just realizing how different he is. He's nothing like that rampaging bull from earlier, or Ignis for that matter. Yet, the innocent face he had as he slept next to me helped me relax. I'll head out just for a bit, then I'll come back to sleep. I got up quietly from the bed so as not to disturb Kororo. I changed out of my nightwear, but I still felt awkward about wandering around at this time of night. So here I am in the back garden of Enchanté, still on the cafe's grounds. The flowers that decorated Enchanté and the gardening here was done by Canis, a hobby of his. The night wind blowing through the beautiful flowers grown by his hand, mixed with their aroma, helping me calm down. Petals from the blooming flowers floated about, dancing in the breeze. Huh? Beyond them, I saw someone I hadn't been expecting. The one standing there quietly, lit by the moonlight from the sky, was Ignis! I'm just guessing. Yay, I'm right. Ignis?
お前か。さっさと寝るんじゃなかったのかよ。
I've been nervous, so I couldn't. But what about you? It's unusual of you to be in the garden. Although it was by coincidence, seeing a familiar face as I was here unable to sleep made me feel a bit at ease. As I got closer to Ignis, gazing into the night sky, he muttered,
お前、本当に行くのかよ、ベスティアに。
Yeah.
俺やリンドウが語った以上に、あそこは危険な世界だぞ。それこそ、お前が何もなしに一人で放り込まれたら、数秒で死んじまうような。
He was saying this as if asking me to think it over again. I could tell. It was Ignis's way of worrying about me. Still, I'm sorry, but I'm still going. It's for Kororo as well, but I do feel that it's because I want to see your homeworld too, Ignis.
あんな世界を見たとこで、お前に得られるもんなんて何もねえよ。それに、もしお前がベスティアや魔獣について全部知った後は、俺に。
You'll what?
いや、ただの独り言だ。気にすんな。
After talking it out, I seem to have finally convinced Ignis, or maybe more accurately, he gave up.
とりあえず、ベスティアに行くっつうなら、最低限の覚悟はしとけ。あそこにはお前が想像するような綺麗なもんなんて何一つねえからな。
Okay.
それと仕方ねえから行く以上は守ってやる。他の奴らもうるせえからな。
Right. I'll be counting on you. Once we find Kororo's family and friends and get back here, I'll make mountains of your favorite things on the menu.
お前、俺には飯の話をちらつかせときゃ何でも乗ってくると思ってね
えか。No, that's not what I meant.
実際その報酬は悪くねえかも。
His smile was weak at the end of what he had to say, but Ignis did smile. a life-threatening journey to another world, considering that would happen tomorrow, by talking about it with Ignis under the soft light of the moon. The nervousness and unease of leaving wore off. The morning after. But I'm not talking about the pill. For 2 days straight, Enchanté would be closed for business. None of my regulars or myself even would be there. Everyone was gathered in front of the gate, ready to head to Bestia.
外はこんなに暖かいのに、今から向かうのは極寒の大地か。入った瞬間、温度差にびっくりしそうだね。
今更なのですが、寒いとはどういう感覚なのでしょう。もちろん概念としてはわかるのですが。
確かに我々は寒さそのものを脅威として感じたことはないが。
Everyone was talking about the cold, yet they didn't have on clothes specifically made to protect against the cold. That went for me and Mr. Karu too. I don't know why, I thought Bestia would be like a place of it being smoldering hot, or maybe it has different climates. Ignis told us we didn't need any layers and just to come in normal clothes. But listening to Mr. Demon King talking, I began to regret not even bringing earmuffs.
ほら、人間どもはこれでも羽織っとけ。
From the front, Ignis suddenly and carelessly tosses something to Mr. Karu and I. This is a blanket?
んな上等なもんじゃねえよ。他の魔獣の毛皮を使って作った布っきれだ。
Wait, did you just say it's skin you ripped off? It was strange to put this over me, imagining what its former owner might think of it. In contrast to me, Mr. Karu wrapped the fur skin around his waist with no hesitation.
遠慮せずにもらっておきな。普通の人間が何の用意もなしに踏み入れたら速攻で投資だからね。
Got it. But why did you tie yours to your waist? Don't you think it would be better to cover more of yourself up?
ここは魔獣の不思議というか、身につけてるだけである程度の効果があるんだ。
Following his instructions, I nervously put it on and then... Wow, it's so warm. I feel heat from my head to my toes.
冬場に欲しい一品だよね。これがあれば
Oh, I need one of those. I literally have my little heater in the bed with me. Well, if I don't have the heat on full blast. Engaged in our small talk, I lined up behind Ignis while carrying Kororo. But before entering the gate...
何？撫でろって。
Kororo's tiny hand stretches toward Karia, who was seeing us off. After Kororo arrived at the cafe, he took a big liking to Karia. Maybe it was because Karia was an ice fairy that Kororo found comfort in him, considering Kororo knew the intense cold of the deep sea. That was what Ignis and Canis suspected. At first, Karia seemed like he was bothered by the Kororo's sudden appearance, but...
お前がもうここに戻ってこないことを祈ってる。無事に仲間と両親を見つけろよ。
His kind touch as he pet Kororo showed just how he truly felt.
あんたも気をつけなよ。あんたが死んだら俺すごい困る。
Well, I'm sure Mr. Kororo would take over the cafe. Line of succession, even though he has no relation to my grandfather. Yeah, I'll be careful. Take care of things while I'm gone, Karia. Ah, your pay will be docked. As we were seen off by a somewhat worried-looking Karia,
行くぞ。
Right. Grabbing onto a part of Ignis's clothes, we go through the gate that was thrown wide open. Girl, I need to be arms wrapped around his neck so I don't get flown off by myself like in Media. The boundary between worlds, right when we passed through them. I was assaulted by the feeling of being cut. There was wind, freezing cold, as if there to deny entry to outsiders, telling us to leave. I managed to open my eyes that I had closed on reflex. Before me was a world of snow and ice, stretching out to the horizon. Beast World Bestia. This is the Demon World Bestia? In contrast to Medio, not a single ray of blissful sunshine touched the ground. The rocks and cliffs and what looked like trees at first glance were all a transparent blue, after looking more carefully. They were all made of hardened ice. It was as if we were in the Antarctic, the festivities yesterday. As a cat, all the fireworks were getting to me. It was as if we were in the Antarctic, no, a world of even more ice than that. And within all of it was the bizarre sight of the gate standing there with no sign of frost anywhere on it. And then I could only say one thing. It's cold! My lungs shivered just by breathing in air. It was hard to believe that this demon beast fur coat was reducing the cold so much. Although most of the others weren't affected the way I was, that wasn't to say I was the only one feeling the cold.
相変わらずの世界だね。
あははは、人間は年とともに寒さに弱くなるっていうから、その影響だったりして。
反論する気も起きないよ。こういう時ばかりはその丈夫な体が素直に羨ましいよ。
レディオの冬よりもはるかに冷えるわ。慣れぬ感覚だが、体を動かしていれば特に問題はなさそうだ
な。Canis, your armor is making a grinding sound. Is there snow stuck in its joints?
いいか、すまんがかき出すのを手伝ってくれ。
Right. I work hard digging at the snow that was limiting Canis's movements with my fingers. And after I just thought that was over with, next to Canis, who began stretching himself as if determined not to have the same thing happen, sat number 2, who had frozen into a statue. Number 2, are you okay? It seems like they need the fur coat just as bad as I do. You don't really look alright. Even your wingtips are shivering. And opposite of the Enchanté faithful, Kororo's like, this is my type of weather. I guess it really is from Bestia. Kororo was in great spirits after coming back here to his home. Kororo, you're bald everywhere. I hope you aren't cold. Exasperated, Ignis turned to the rest of us, crying at the coldness as soon as we arrived.
おい、お前らのんきにしてっと。 あっという間に魔獣に群がられんぞ。
おっと、そうだね。彼女の体調も心配だし、無駄な足止めは避けたいよね。イル、俺を中心に認識の妨害をかけるから合わせてくれる？
はい。
Mr. Demon King snaps his fingers, and number 2, still shaking, puts his hands together. A deep purple aura surrounds us. Awareness protection. Is this the same sort of thing you cast over on Chap?
似たようなもんだね。といっても、個人個人にかけると危ないから大雑把にしてある。まあ、鋭いやつには感づかれるだろうけど、知能のない魔獣ぐらいなら目の前にいてもスルーできる感じだね。
ああ、それだけでも十分だよ。
では早速目的地へと移動するとしよう。ここは風も強いからな。それよりイルが限界だ。ここにとどまったままでは翼が凍りつくかもしれん。
With a shiver from his body, a large clump of snow drops from his wings to the ground.
イグニス、あなたその体の炎もっと強くできませんか？今なら私あなたに全力でハグできる気がします。
それを聞いて素直に応じると思うのかよ。
After that, number 2 began getting used to the cold. I'm sure walking close to Ignis was helping that. After his condition had gotten more stable, we began walking across a vast plain of snow surrounded by the others. We were headed toward the shore where Ignis found Kororo. Sea demons like Kororo lived mainly under the water but would occasionally come up onto land. Ignis, of course, searched the area before, but we're headed back as a team, hoping one of us might find a hint of some kind. We had been walking for a while, but there wasn't really any change to the scenery. Strangely, and probably because of the demon beast's fur coat, I'd gotten used to the cold air that was still piercing my body. I was relaxed enough by now to really be able to pay attention to my surroundings. And then I noticed a shadow far in the distance. Huh? Is that demon beast over there the same as the one going crazy at the aquarium?
ああ、ありゃアルムムの怪個体だな。
Minotaur?
ああ、牛みてえな外見したうぜえ魔獣だ。本来は俺みてえに喋れんだが、根血だったりメスの血が少ねえとあんな感じに知能がない状態で生まれちまうんだよ。
Oh, I see. So there are variations within the species. Does Ignis's species have other beasts that look a little different from him?
それと大抵の魔獣は闘争心が強えからな。間違っても近づくんじゃねえぞ。目があっただけでもアウトだ。
Understood. I'll take that to heart. Canis joins in mumbling.
あの姿を見て思い出したのだが、昨日のアルムムとやらはなぜ人間界に現れたのだろうか。
Oh, that's right. I had completely forgotten about that incident after the matter over Kororo.
順当に考えたらホールが原因でしかないと思うよ。一応登録紹介もしてみたんだけどね。
Mr. Karu has registered this specimen as a new entry. It has not ever been recorded anywhere else.
ベスティアじゃホールなんざボコスコ景気よく空いてるし、そう珍しいことでもねえと思うぜ。今回はたまたま人間界に繋がったってだけだろ。
ですが、あの巨体が通れるホールとなると、 相当な大きさなのでしょうね。
ホールばっかりはね。俺たちもうっかり落ちないよう気をつけないとね。
An undisturbed demon beast is a calm one. We quickly passed through the area while the Minotaur didn't realize we were there. Although it was a dangerous world with these particular members that could cheat their way through anything, I encountered no harm. And while continuing on, taking the long way around any demon beast we came across, a gentle scent caught my attention. This is salt water? After passing through the shadow of a large mountain of ice was a giant plain of ice that was broken up. And beyond that lay a vast, deep blue ocean with icebergs floating across it. Could this be... Is this where you met Kororo, Ignis?
ああ、ここで一匹親を求めて泣いてやがった。
周辺に荒れた形跡はなし。ここで何かって親とはぐれたとは考えにくいね。
現にコロロに怯える様子はない。
だとすると、はぐれた後にここにたどり着き、イグニスに保護された。そう考えるのが妥当でしょうか。
ならちょっと厄介だね。
Mr. Demon King taps his toes on the frozen ice.
ここには基盤となる大地がない。この氷床の下に広がるのはすべて
それなんだよ。つまりベスティアの全域がこいつらの生息域になっちまってる。
Looking at Kororo tilt his head, I summarized all the information given to me so far. Sea demons spend a lot of their time swimming in the ocean here. They're small, but they're very vigilant. If that's the case...
たとえ近くにいても確実に見逃すだろう。奇跡的に発見したとしてもすぐに海へと逃げ込んでしまっては。
そのおかげで弱い割に生存率が高えんだけどな。探す側としちゃ厄介な生態だぜ。
I see. I can understand why Ignis had to give up and bring Kororo to Enchanté. Mr. Demon King began gathering our feedback, one by one showing some pause. However, that only lasted for a moment.
元から人海戦術ができるほどの人数じゃないんだし、ここはチートに物を言わせていこうじゃない。
The one he turned to was the one who looked completely opposite to himself.
いる。そろそろ行ける？
はい、大丈夫です。
He looks all happy and warm now. As he batted his wings to shake off some snow gathered on them, it came to me. Are you going to try and locate the pack from the sky?
それも試しはしますが、本命ではありませんね。今回は私の砲術の一端を使おうかと。
Magic? Come to think of it, I remember number 2 using his powers to heal Mr. Karu during the Karuya incident. I've heard of that before at YEOW, haven't I? How your powers in number 2s are different.
そうそう。で、今回は内容的に適しているイルに活躍してもらうって感じかな。
今回私が用いるのは音を利用した探知の術式です。
Seeking?
状況によるけど、今回の場合はちょっとした漁のようなものかな。
漁とは？
ほら、この間テレビでさ、漁師特集ってやってたでしょ。魚群探知機を使って魚の群れをってやつ。
海底に音波を放ってその反射で魚がいるかを確かめるかな。それと同じことを。
ご名答。イルは器用でね。 もともと万能型っていうか、手順を踏めば大体のことはできるんだ。
Oh, wow.
そういや、カリアのやつを保護するときも似たようなことしてたらしいな。
ええ、あの時とは少々内容は異なりますが、まあそれほど難しくはありません。それでは行ってきます。ミシェル、サポートはお願いします。
Mr. Demon King and number 2 gracefully ascends up to the wintry sky of Bestia. Flying at an incredible speed, he was far from us in no time. With that, Mr. Demon King made a gesture as if he was knocking on air. And then... Whoa! In front of him appeared a magic circle with several detailed emblems on it. And that's what it looked like, at least.
テストテスト。こちらミシェル。いる。聞こえてる？
少々聞き取りづらいですが、会話は可能です。しかし、相変わらずあなたの組むものは大雑把な上ごちゃごちゃです。合わせるこちらの身にもなってください。
まあまあ、もともと相入れぬ魔法と法術。つながるだけでも万々歳じゃない。
He's basically looking like, don't call my magic powers shit. I could hear number 2's side from the magic circle. You talk to number 2 through this magic circle?
まあ調整は全部イルに任せてるから、細かいことや理屈は知らないけどね。
I've thought about this before, but don't you think your own understanding of your powers is a little too small?
全くです。
いいのいいの。こういう力ってのは難しく考えないで、不思議だけど便利程度でいいのさ。実際音質の良さを考えたら、人間界の携帯電話の方がよっぽど魔法っぽいしね。
まあ誰でも使えるっていう点では確かにそうかもね。
それでイル、そっちからは何か見える？
いえ、全く。海の色が濃すぎるせいで海中の様子はほとんど見えませんね。なのでやはり砲術を用いるべきかと。私を中心にある程度広範囲に行います。
オッケー。俺からフォローすることは？
任せていただいてよいかと。とはいえ、どうにも私はベスティアと相性が良くないようで、期待に添えるかは分かりませんが、ひとまずやってみます。
さてと、よく目を凝らしてごらん。多分初めてイルの天使らしい姿が見れると思うからさ。
Okay. I take Mr. Demon King's suggestion and fix my eyes on the sky I think is near number 2. And then...
何が空の一点だ。
何か小さく光ってるね。
That's where number 2 is, although I couldn't tell exactly what he was doing because he was so far away. I could tell seeing the shining light. With a strange noise in the way, I couldn't hear all that well. But it was number 2's beautiful voice singing. It echoed across the land as if the dangerous ambiance of Bestia was being painted over. Ambiance. In the next instant, a sphere of light that enclosed him began to expand outward. It happened in just the blink of an eye, but I could feel it brush against my cheek like a brush of wind with a sweet warmth. and not a second later the light gathered back toward him. Afterward, I heard number 2 sigh.
ダメです。海中からは何の反応もありませんね。
So he's an angel mixed with like Aquaman.
周囲半径で10キロほどを対象に行いましたが、おそらく今週。
そっか。ありがとう、イル。まあ、そうそう簡単じゃないってことだね。
了解しました。では即時帰還します。
Mission failed to return Kororo to family. So as Mr. Demon King released the magic circle, I could see a light figure heading towards us from afar. I didn't know what to say. Wow, I didn't know angels get so mystical looking when they use their magic.
俺らもなんだかんだであいつが真面目に天使やってるとこ見んの久しぶりだな。
戻ってくればいつものゆるゆるなイルだから一気に現実に引き戻されると思うけどね。
An hour later, we changed our locations many times. We kept at our strategy using number 2's abilities and penchant for detection. Seeking magic. But we were unable to find the sea demons. After that, we continued our search using all sorts of different methods, but in the end, we couldn't find a single hint, not to mention any pack of sea demons.
一日で見つかるなんて気楽には考えてなかったけど、なんていうか終わりが見えない感じだね。
Dot dot dot. It was unfortunate for poor Kororo, but it was a reality we could do nothing about. As if reacting to everyone's dismay, Kororo jumped out from my arms, and while crawling all the way to the edge of the ice floor, he must be calling to its parents. His cry was sad. It spread across the open ocean. There was no response. By coming back here, he must have remembered how sad he was. I even thought I saw a tear drop down from Kororo's big round eyes. Kororo. Unable to know how to console him, all I could do was say his name. Please. It doesn't even have to be his parents. Just let something call back to Kororo. And in response to my wish, a pitiful scream tore through the sky to answer me. Several dot dot dots. Wait, that most certainly did not sound like someone Kororo might know.
何事だ?
A puzzled Canis looks across the horizon, vision hampered by the snow to find... Hopefully it was not that scientist guy. I was not. It was a young boy, probably a little older than Karia. He was being chased by more of the lesser Minotaurs, running away from them as fast as he could, right toward us. Save your bro.
みんな叫ばなくても聞こえてる。頭下げてろ。
Flames flew through the air. In a flash, flames engulfed the Minotaurs. Before I could even understand what had happened,
またてめえらか。毎日弱いもん相手にもう泣いてご苦労なこった。
Ignis flew over them and with just a single kick, wrapped them in flames. The Minotaur's body sunk and fell right where it stood.
たく、どこにでも湧く奴らだな。人間界の虫だって、冬場はもうちょいおとなしくしてんぞ。
The young boy, covering his head and crouching, looked up at Ignis and began to shake. Wait, didn't this person clearly shout out Ignis's name just earlier?
うおっ、きったれ。鼻水垂らしながら寄るんじゃねえ、このバカ。
だって怖かったんすもん。兄貴を見かけたっていうやつがいたからこんな辺境まで追いかけてきたっていうのに、探せど探せど見つからないし、挙句にアルムムの縄張りにうっかり入って殺されかけるし。でも合流できたからには安心っす。イグニスの兄貴がいればどんな魔獣が襲ってこようと。
Your bro? My confusion unintentionally slipped out from my mouth, and my eyes met this boy with the wet face. Several dots.
いきなりガンつけるたいい度胸じゃないっすか。
What?
あんたらがどこの魔獣かは知らないっすけど、俺に手を出したが最後。ベスティア最強の魔獣イグニスの兄貴が黙ってないっすからね。
Okay. Calm your flames. Your non-existent flames.
見てくださいよ。連中兄貴に恐れをなして声も出せないみたいっす。さあ今のうちにやっちまってください。俺は影から兄貴の戦いをサポートしますから。
It's time for a hit on the back of the head. Maybe it's rude to feel this way. I just met this person, yet there's some kind of pathetic aura around him. He's like a sad little animal.
なんだ、魔獣じゃないなら早く言ってほしかったっす。失礼しちゃったっすね。へへ。
Is it heh star?
ねえねえ、ちょっとだけ右腕とかねじ切ってもいい？
He's just like, can I just have him writhe in pain just for a second?
心底わかるけどよ。
Oh, he's an old friend. I thought it was his actual bro. An old friend?
はいはい、よくぞ聞いてくれました。俺こそはベスティアにおける最強最高優位が独尊最強無敵の魔獣ビニトルであるイグニスの兄貴の第一の射程。
Oh, werewolves that control flame. Venator. So cute.
ドローメッサー。
Oh, his name is Jomi, but his race is a Venator.
以後お見知りおきをお願いします。
Okay. He's a clown.
何度となくイグニス自体を強調していくのだな。
所感を述べるならば騒がしいですね。
完全に虎の意を狩る狐だね。家を借りている当人が虎っぽいのに射程っていうのも絶対自称だ。
Our impressions were bad but consistent. As if to confirm what we thought was correct, Ignis already looked completely exhausted. You wouldn't see him like this at Enchanté. However, this boy named Dromi seemed to be a reliable source of information and figured out what Kororo was when Ignis found him.
それでドローミ君とやら改めて聞きたいんだけど、この子と同じパークスの群れの居所について君心当たりはないかい？
それについては残念ながら特に情報がないっすね。
肝心な時にも使えねえな。ベスティア1の情報通なんて名乗ってやがるくせに。
にもってなんすか？俺はいつでも兄貴の役に立ってるっすよ。
It seemed like he just now remembered something.
でもパークスも結局は珍しいだけで戦う力を持たない魔獣っすよね。なら弱い者同士のつながりで他の弱小種族なら何かしら情報を持ってたりするんじゃないですか？
Weaker species?
そうっす。そいつを見ればわかると思うっすけど、ベスティアの魔獣は全部が全部凶暴で強いわけじゃない。こういう辺境にはアルムムみたいな獰猛な種族に追いやられた弱っちい魔獣が暮らしてるんすよ。んでやっぱ同じ境遇同士傷の舐め合いっていうのもなんすけど、ちょうど俺も兄貴を探すためにその縄張りに滞在してたんす。よかったら事情を話して協力してもらうっすか？
そうしてもらえるとありがたい。正直情報が少なすぎて途方に暮れていたところだ。
できたら屋根のある場所も借りたいな。イルも少し休ませたいしね。
そこまで衰弱はしていませんよ。確かに大型砲術を連発はしましたが。
とか言いつつ、さっきからまた寒そうにしてるじゃねえか。どう見ても燃料切れって顔
He
して
said,
る
"You
ね。
out of that angelic juice."
否定はしません。
So, that being the case, Dromi, can you show us the way?
うっす、お任せくださいっす。
Following Dromi as he led the way, we came to a completely different place from before. In contrast to the wild terrain of the ice fields, this place was obviously maintained. There were structures randomly strewn about, made from ice and snow. Perhaps this is considered someone's territory in Bestia. It's maybe something like a village? Dromi, who had gone in to explain our situation, came running back toward us.
族長に話は通したっすよ。縄張りの中は好きに移動していいみたいっす。
In this place he led us to were smaller human-like demon beasts that seemed to have the ears of rabbits. According to Ignis, they were still demon beasts, but apparently none of them can fight.
随分とあっさりだね。魔女って他の種族には警戒心と殺意がむき出しなんじゃないの？
まあ普通はそうっすね。でもそこはほら、俺の華麗な弁舌によって。
He said he a smooth operator, y'all. I deem that a false.
あ、そっか。
He said they felt pity for you.
ちっけえわ、なんなのこいつ。初対面でものすごい失礼なんすけど。
Dromi was crying in a fest as we were all gathered around him. I felt several shadows and stares trying to observe us while remaining hidden. I guess visitors from other worlds really do stand out in a bad way.
悪い。こっから俺は別行動だ。
Huh? Ignis? Wondering what those footsteps were, I turned around to see Ignis walking away from our circle without even waiting for a response. He continued on, disappearing into the deeper part of the territory. Is he going to ask for information alone? As I was watching him leave, it seemed like everyone decided what they do. It was a simple plan. Everyone would split up and gather witness information of the beast here. However, Kororo, he doesn't look too good.
先ほどの件で泣き疲れたのかもしれんな。
Carrying him around might be too much on him.
ああ、だったら俺がそのちっこいのここで預かってるっすよ。
Huh? But I couldn't ask somebody I just met to do something like that.
いやー、気にしなくていいっす。兄貴の連れってことは俺の身内みたいなもんっすよ。
I guess I'll take you up on your offer then. Can you look after him for just a bit?
お任せを。有益な情報が手に入ることを祈ってるっす。やっぱこうしてみるとかわいい。
He said, "Get away from me."
って言ったー。いきなり噛まれた。牙が外見に反して凶悪。めっちゃギザギザしてる。やめて、指がちぎれる。兄貴たちには懐いてるのになんで俺にだけ凶暴なの。
さーて、じゃあ俺たちは行こうか。それとコロロは後で盛大に褒めてあげようね。
晴れやかだな、ミシェル。
Probably because he just got bit. He's like, now I don't have to rip off his limb.
相当あのドローミ君にイラッとしたんだろうね。
I'm sorry, Jomi, but please do your best caring for Kokoro. Kokoro. I thought it was Kororo. So you mean I've been pronouncing my own pet name wrong the whole time? Well then, that's life in a bag. All right, let's get to it then. I'm sure I could accompany anyone. So what should I do? I'm worried about my main man number 2. Let's go check on him, y'all. I really would like to go get information, but I'm a little worried about number 2. Before I try and find answers, I'm going to see how he's doing. Number 2, Mr. Demon King, I'm coming in. I walk quietly into the igloo where the chief apparently lives. And there, struck by the cold once again after spending all of his energy, the fallen angel succumbed to his condition and was lying down with his eyes closed.
ああ、イルの様子を見に来てくれたの。
Yeah, it seemed like he was pushing through before, but he still looked pretty bad. You decided to hang out a little while and look after number 2, Mr. Demon King?
まあね、イルの術を使うと決めたのは俺だし、消耗させた責任は取らないとね。と言っても、看病らしいことはしてないけど、ここらじゃ火を焚くのも禁止らしくてね。
Ah, right. The whole village sits on ice. And, well, using a match is one thing, but I can only imagine the type of flames you'd use.
そうだな。まずこの辺り一帯が氷も含めて綺麗に干上がっちゃうかな。
Right. Being strong can be a problem at times, huh?
面目ないってね。こういう誰かを助けたいって時はちょっと。
I looked around as we talked, trying to find at least a single blanket. Before I did, number 2 opened his closed eyes.
マスター、ミシェル。
Oh, Number 2, how are you feeling?
おとなしくしていましたし、先ほどよりはマシかと。
ごめん、イル。今回は負担をかけすぎた。あんまり辛いようなら、先にゲートからアンシャンテに。
なんだか面白いです。寒さで倒れた天使なんてきっと展開では私が初めてです。本当にアンシャンテの港いると毎日が新鮮な経験ばっか。
Now he seemed sleepy, and number 2 closed his eyes again. He still looked cold, but his face was much more relaxed. Now it was my turn to laugh.
本人からすれば辛い寒さだろうに。それを面白いとはね。
I really like the background music, but it just seems like it's drowning out especially number 2's voice. Okay, wait. No, I'm trying to go up. Okay. I think that's about good. Yes. Oh, and save. Good night, number 2. Thanks for working so hard. Rest up. I whispered to him and stroked his wings. Leaving the rest to Mr. Demon King, I went to group up with Canis and the others who were trying to drum up some information. We tried to talk to other demon beasts who seemed like they might be willing, but we didn't get a single bit of information about any packs of sea demons. But instead, there was something we noticed. The gazes of sincere interest, their eyes not only curious but afraid. But to be precise, it wasn't because of us, the ones they'd never seen before.
あいつらイグニスの。
行きましょう。関わったら最後どんな争いに巻き込まれることか。命がいくつあっても足りないわ。
It was Ignis, it seems.
参ったね。あんな目で見られたんじゃやりづらいことこの上ない。
Life. It's such a trivial thing here in Bestia. I know because of how often I've been told. But thinking more about it, why exactly was Bestia dangerous? I realized I never heard an exact reason for why it was that way. I thought it was because of dangerous demon beasts in the severe environment, but a loud shout cut off my thoughts. The direction that it came from was deeper into the territory. That direction was... It was the way Ignis went? I'm going to take a look. Why do I gotta take a look? But let's go. Everyone, please keep asking around. Like, why? Okay, myself, let's go. After getting everyone's approval, I ran off. What happened to guarding me? In the deeper end of the territory, in the shadows of a snow cave, was Ignis and a demon beast girl I didn't recognize. Unaware of my presence, the girl was shouting at Ignis, who was far taller than her.
なんであんたが今さらまた私の前に現れるのよ。早く この縄張りから消えて。あんたを見てると。
Oh, Ignis must have set fire to their whole little snow bunny camp.
両親が目の前で殺されてるのに、戦いもせず怯えていただけの惨めな自分を思い出しちゃうのよ。それとも何？私のそんな苦しむ様をも面白がって眺めてるわけ？随分な悪趣味ね。さすがは殺し合いが大好きな最強の魔獣様だわ。
Huh? Bloodthirsty? I muttered aloud without thinking. The young girl's long ears flickered as if she heard me. And as if he already knew I was here, Ignis, unsurprised, slowly looks towards me. The girl then leaves Ignis and starts walking toward me.
あんたが族長が話してた人間？
Yeah.
私より弱そうだし、すっごい無防備。イグニスがすぐ近くにいるっていうのに。本当にこの際だから私が教えてあげる。このベスティアの本当の姿と、こいつの本性ってやつを。
Who is he?
私の両親は殺されたわ。ベスティアでも特に獰猛で残酷なアルムムという魔獣と、そこの高々と笑いながら全身を引き裂かれた。
I refuse to believe that. Hopefully their fur isn't the one he ripped off, though. So let's see. What? Wait, but
信じられない。まあ、ベスティア以外の世界出身ならそういう風に考えちゃうのかもしれないわね。けど実際にこの世界はね、強者が強さを証明するために殺し合い、同時に何も持たない弱者を虐げながらなぶり殺す。悪意に満ちた殺戮こそが正義の世界なのよ。
murder, slaughter, killing for sport? These frightening words would never even come to my mind in my normal life. The young girl pointed a smile toward me as she watched me swallowing my breath.
私の言いたいこと分かったでしょ。イグニスだって他の奴らと同じなのよ。しかもあいつはベスティア最強の魔獣。
The girl glares at me as if to ask if I knew what that meant. The hate in her heart drove her to
そ
answer.
れはつまりこの世界で一番他の魔獣を殺したやつってこと。どれだけ無害なふりを装ったとしても、その中身は残虐なアルムムと同じ。パークスの両親探しなんて縄張りに入り込むための嘘よ。きっと私たちをむごたらしく殺すつもりなんだわ。
No, he wouldn't. The reason why he came to find Kororo. See, it says Kororo there. See, I knew I wasn't tripping this whole time. I'm like, I could have swore I seen Kororo. I know I don't need no glasses that bad, y'all. But yeah, I guess there was just a typo in the other sentence because it said Kokoro. Yeah, but the reason why he came to find Kororo's parents, that wasn't a lie. However, the part about him having something to do with her parents' deaths. Ignis?
ここは殺戮が正義とされる世界。そいつは否定しねえよ。
My voice full of pity couldn't even form a question, but he answered mine. Ignis's reply seemed to hide his feelings.
それがこのベスティアっつう世界の仕組みでルールみたいなもんだ。
あ
As unnecessary? I think they meant... yeah, there's a lot of typos in this. He said, Ignis's homeland. While Ignis hid this before, it is a cruel world where slaughter is righteous, where with demon beasts killing each other on a daily basis to prove their strength, while the weak are tormented as necessary. But it says as unnecessary. So, yeah.
魔獣にとって殺すっつうのは人間が呼吸をするのと同じ本能に刷り込まれた当然の行為だからな。
Dot dot dot. I see. I had a feeling that I knew the reason why Ignis was hesitant to bring me to this world. Not knowing what to say to him, my gaze wandered, lost as to where to look. There was a savage roar that made the air around us tremble. That voice! The demon beast girl was terrified of what made that noise. She shook and held herself. Dot dot dot. Ah, Ignis? I reflexively ran after him as he quickly responded. Reaching the center of the territory, what we found wasn't the demon beast we were questioning earlier, but... oh, the Minotaurs. Oh, darn. Instead, a Minotaur like the one that had been chasing Dromi, but there was something different about it. It was like a giant bull, muscular all over, that walked on two legs. It looked exactly like what I saw in Grandpa's book. A Minotaur from Greek mythology? Head of a bull and body of a man.
アルムムの上位個体だ。口汚ねえ連中だから耳を塞いでおくのを勧めとくぜ。
It's an Arumum.
言うじゃねえかよ。イグニス、まさかとは思ったが、お前がこんなちっぽけな魔獣とつるんでるとは。噂ってのもバカになんねえもんだな。え？
Kororo? As I look up, I see the Minotaur grabbing Kororo by the tail. Why is Kororo here? I gave him to Dromi to take care of.
ドローミの野郎はガキのおもり一つこなせねえのか。
That boy probably ran off as soon as he sensed the Minotaur is near. He's like, I'm gone.
つうか、今日はやけに牛どもの姿を見かけるとは思ったが。 てめえら、俺の動向を掴んでやがったな。ドローミを襲ったのもそのせいか。単純バカの牛肉風情にしちゃ頭を使うじゃねえか。その情報どっから流れた？いいえ。
正直に白状したら、それこそバカってもんだろう。さあ。 このチビの命が惜しかったら動くんじゃねえぞ。
Already thirsty for blood, the Minotaur kept Ignis in check by using Kororo as a shield. Oh darn, he transformed back. Silenced, Ignis obeys and returns to his usual form that he uses in the human world. Feeling good about the turn of events, he shows his superiority looking down at Ignis. And notices me standing next to him.
なんだ、見たこともねえ魔獣だな。こいつもイグニスの連れか？ならちょうどいい。 お前もこっちに来い。
Oh, Ignis ain't gonna like that. He don't want me standing next to anybody but him.
イグニスを痛めつけた後、お前もそいつの目の前でなぶり殺しにしてやるよ。
Ah! He threatens us, dangling Kororo in the air. At the same time, tons of minotaurs come out of hiding and surround us all at once. My rough estimate would be that there were at least 20 of them things. Their glares of ill intent and twisted smiles sent a strong chill down my spine. This is what she was talking about, the demons. No, Bestia's true nature. It's pointless trying to fight the terror of such an overwhelming presence. But even still...
行く必要はね。
Ignis?
言ったろ。仕方ねえから守ってやるってな。大体な、人質なんざ俺へのハンデにならねえんだよ。そんなもん。意味がねえからな。
No!
With a fearless smile, Ignis charges in close to the Minotaur.
やっぱてめえらは単純牛肉野郎だ。炎さえなけりゃ俺に勝てるってか。
Gripping his hand into a tight fist and piercing through the defense of his dense muscles, he digs in with an intense punch. Along with hearing a gruesome crack, the Minotaur spills fluid from its gut. All in them guts. From the impact, Kororo was let go. Its body flying in the air was easily caught single-handedly by Ignis.
お前が見とけ。ドローミみてえに目離すんじゃねえぞ。
You can count on me. Right. Kororo was thrown to me firmly, and I pulled him into my arms. It was crude and violent, but the way he fought, the way Kororo didn't get a scratch on him, it helped me find my belief.
どうしたよ。もうネタ切れか。
まだだ。
数がある。今度はこの縄張りにいる魔獣たちを人質に取ろう。ってくだらねえな。んな古典的な手使ってっから、てめえらは雑魚のままなんだ。ま、いいぜ。やってみろよ。俺より早く動けんならな。
Ignis takes in a deep breath and then looks up into the ash-colored sky. It was like a song, strong and intense, a noble howl, like some signal for a fight, a crimson flame. He looks like he's having the time of his life. Runs over his body and he begins to easily overpower the Minotaurs with wolf-like moves. In the next moment, one Minotaur began to yell, engulfed in flames. Immediately after, Ignis jumps to the two Minotaurs behind him. And into their faces and stomachs, he sends punch after kick into them, rendering them unconscious within seconds. As if trying to show it wouldn't be outdone, the wild flames ramped up to a fierce speed, hitting one Minotaur after the next, in this group that tried to run toward the territory's demon beasts.
そらそら、どうした？その無駄に太い腕は見た目だけの飾りかよ。
The ones provoked by Ignis snorted and sent their thick arms flying toward him. Rookie mistake! However, Ignis stopped them dead on with his fist. Their fists and claws were obliterated and they couldn't do a thing about it. And after that, it was a whirlwind, or more appropriately, a whirlwind of fire. Burning, chasing, hitting, and burning again. Wild movements expressing Ignis's strength in nature that couldn't be shown in one single movement. On a rampage engulfed in flames and without a scratch on him. He was like a werewolf of fire. The strongest demon beast of all of Bestia. Melting away the merciless cold land around him, he stood at the top of the world with overwhelming power. I don't even think a minute had passed. I realized that almost all the Minotaurs that had attacked were passed out on the ground. The only one left now was the large Minotaur that had taken Kororo as a hostage. Still, even after all of that fighting, hardly any of the territory had been destroyed. And at some point, the local demon beasts had gathered around, shivering with fright, watching the battle. Among them was that little girl that was shouting at Ignis.
バカな。全員群れの中でも特に強力な奴らだったってのに。
Well, not no more, boy. Them gone. They all gone.
どんだけの化け物なんだ。
化け物か。てめえらが弱すぎるだけだろ。
The giant Minotaur had run out of the composure that he had ride with. He's weak. He came in strong and left weak, y'all. All that was left was absolute shock and terror of Ignis. Readying himself again, Ignis glares with eyes of fire at the last Minotaur.
てめえら確かそこそこ頑丈だったな。いつもならば顔面砕く程度で許してやってるけどな。今回は例外だ。くだらねえ手を使われて俺はだいぶ機嫌が悪いんだな。めったにねえ大盤振る舞いだ。喜んでミディアムレアになりやがれ牛野郎。
A swarming pillar of fire rose from under the feet of the Minotaur. There was care in preserving the territory, and the pillar didn't expand outward. It climbed straight toward the heavens. After a blast, the Minotaur howled in pain. When this was all over, a deafening silence rested over the area. Passing through the Minotaurs passed out on the ground. This dude, Dromi, boy, where was you at? But Dromi and the others ran straight toward us.
いやー、さすが兄貴、惚れ惚れしたっす。アルムムごとき楽勝っすね。
またずいぶん派手にやったね。ステーキにしてはお粗末な感じだけど。
こんなクソまずいステーキ誰が食うかよ。
合流が遅れてすまなかった。縄張りの周辺からもアルムムが襲撃を仕掛けてきてな。
But I'm like, why Mr. Demon King ain't come out and help? But I guess he knew that Ignis had it, but still.
そのほとんどはカヌスたちが軽く追い散らしてくれたけどね。君たちも怪我がないようで何より。
Oh, yes, Ignis protected us.
あれもう終わっちゃった感じ
Yeah, y'all late.
たち出遅れちゃったかな
Late. Later than late.
とはいえ、ある程度の敵を無力化しつつでしたから、一応最短で駆けつけた計算になるかと。
Mr. Demon King, you're here in number 2. Are you feeling okay now?
ええ、おかげさまで万全とは言いませんが、通常行動や戦闘を含め邪魔にはなりません。
つうかドローミ、てめえコロロ一匹も守れねえとどういう了見だおい。
その件は許してほしいっす。だって コロロが思いっきり噛むし逃げるし。
Kororo bared his fangs at Dromi with a vicious little face I'd never seen. Why isn't he friendly? Or rather, why does he hate Dromi? Probably because they eat him.
イグニス、俺たちが転がしたのも含めてアルムムの将軍はどうする？俺たちはあくまで部外者だから殺しはしなかったけど、最終的な判断は君に任せるよ。
It might have been a coincidence, but my eyes met with Ignis as he thought about it. ...
そのままほっときゃいい。どうせ丸一日は目を覚まさねえ。ここの縄張り連中も移動の準備を始めてるだろうし、今夜にでも出発すりゃ逃げ切れんだろ。
なんで？
It's the demon beast girl who was arguing with Ignis earlier. She came running toward us, yelling at Ignis.
なんで殺さないのよ。こんな奴ら皆殺しにすればいい。
うぜえな。てめえの敵討ちを俺に押し付けんじゃねえよ。結局は強え魔獣を頼って。
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come back there because you didn't kill them though. But that's just my 2 cents as a cat. I'm just a cat. Ignis struck a chord. The girl flinches.
なんなのよ。意味わかんない。あんたはこのベスティアで一番非常な魔獣なんじゃないの？そんな奴がなんで殺さないの？なんでこんな無力な魔獣や人間を守るために戦ったのよ。
なんでも何も誰も殺さねえのが俺の心情だからだ。
So what did she see? Because she clearly saw you laughing while her parents were getting killed. What I understood earlier, yes, it was Ignis's creed not to kill. I felt a relief deep within my soul to hear him say it himself. This girl seemed to find it completely unbelievable.
イグニスが殺さない魔獣。嘘よ。だってあんたは私の両親は。
あれ、そこの娘っ子。
Oh, okay, he saved her and she just misunderstood. I figured it was that.
あれ結構前のことだったし、弱小種族にしちゃ長生きしてるじゃないですか。
はあ？助けた私を。
あんた両親が死んだ直後に気絶してたし、記憶がおかしくなってんじゃないですか。あんたの両親はアルムムに殺されて、んでそこに居合わせた兄貴がそいつらを再起不能にぶっ飛ばした。それが本当のところっす。だから誤解っつうかうぬぼれもいいとこっすよ。そもそも最強である兄貴があんたらみたいな弱い魔獣相手にするはずがねえっすから。
The way that was all put could have definitely used a bit more tact.
驚いたな。それなら物腰や言動がどうにも悪ぶっているのはお国柄なだけで。イグニス、君は異例中の異例。不殺主義者でありながらベスティアのトップに立ってるんだね。
Mr. Karu was surprised considering he knew about Ignis's position within Bestia's harsh society. Looking at everyone else's expressions, it seemed they all had some understanding of Ignis's status except for his creed.
うるせえ。悪ぶってるってなんだリンド。ぶっ殺すぞ。
と言いつつ殺さないのが兄貴なんすよね。はあ、ほんとお優しいことで。あいったー！死ぬっすこ
Ignoring Dromi, Mr. Demon King opens his mouth to share a few words.
命のやり取りこそが世界そのもの。そんなベスティアにおいて君の最強はきっと許されないんだろうね。
殺戮こそ正義な他の魔獣からすれば価値観を覆しかねない存在。それなら狙われてしかり。
それを打ちのめせば打ちのめすほどイグニスはさらに狙われていくわけか。
別にな大層な立場のつもりはねえけどな。俺はただ好きに喧嘩してるだけだ。
何よそれ。
Ignis turns again to face the girl, who was taken aback.
お前の親は残念だった。お前の復讐心も理解できる。だがそれでも俺は誰も殺さねえ。そう決めてんだ。
バカみたい。そんな魔獣の話見たことも聞いたこともないわ。
Well, you're welcome to kill the Minotaurs yourself, you frail beast girl.
だったらなんでもっと
Aww.
早く
Now I'm sad.
両親が殺される前に来てくれなかったのよ。
I'm not crying. Someone's cutting onions. The tearful girl collapses to the ground. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that dialogue box. So after that, we help the territory begin their move to show our gratitude. That said, it was a world made up of ice, so there wasn't much to carry in a move, quite unlike the human world. Most of the work was just erasing any traces of anyone ever living here. Breaking down everything would make it so that the more predatory demon beasts wouldn't be able to chase after them. Ignis and I, having finished our part, we took a break with Kororo. See, it says Kororo here, but then other times it says Kororo. Y'all, I know I'm not tripping. Please say I'm not tripping. A break with Kororo near the edge of the territory.
正直に言うとよ。
Huh?
こういうベスティアでの俺の立場ってのが話に上がった時点で避けられると思ってたぜ。けどお前あんまそういうの気にしねえんだな。一応隣にいる俺は殺し殺されの世界のトップなんだぜ。なんだよその微妙な顔。
Well, be that as it may, you've kept true to your creed, which means you've never killed anyone, right? I just don't get how someone can hold any fear or hatred toward you for something you haven't even done.
まあそれはそうかもしれねえけどな。
Also, I don't know if this is going to come off to you as me being naive, but the Ignis I know, although he might be intimidating or rough around the edges, he cares about the people he's around. I mean, this is a guy who always cleans his plate back at Enchanté, one of my most treasured guests. So, I'm not scared of you, Ignis.
わかんねえだろ。俺が演技してるだけかもしんねえぞ。
Ignis, acting? I can't see it. That's not possible. Yeah, I can't see that. Yeah, I can't really see that. I mean, to me, you're a meat-loving demon beast with a huge appetite, so...
なんだそりゃ。けどま、俺だってお前が実は凶暴とか。
Oh, I can get pretty violent.
急に言われても想像できねえもんな。
Right. Anyway, there's only one thing I can say. Bestia's values and its violent inhabitants, like those minotaurs are of course scary like everyone said. But I know now after coming here that not all of Bestia is like that. The demon beasts here are Kororo, for example, most of all. You, Ignis, one of Enchanté's most treasured guests. I'm sure you won't change. He's the dearest of all my friends. The person who just throws open the gate, curtly places an order, then leaves without giving any thoughts about the food. Yeah, scary's not the right word for you.
そりゃ悪い。ゲートはもちと気をつけて開く。飯は、いや、文句がねえからこそ何も言わないっつうかだな。まったく、新米マスターのくせにずぶとくなりやがったよ。
But I see that smile on your face. Ignis lets out a sigh. His eyes were looking out into the distance. I wonder what they were focused on.
俺がこのベスティアで最強なのは間違いねえ。それと同時に異質な存在ってこともな。それでも俺にはここのトップに立ち続けて理由があんだ。
That reason why, I'm sure he didn't intend on explaining. Although, I'm curious, I thought it best not to pry about the matter for now.
けどよ、俺も結局アルメムと同じ魔獣なんだ。このクソみてえな世界の住人なんだ。いつか何かの拍子に本能のままに俺も誰かをぶっ殺しちまうかもしれね
え。Dots between the both of us.
なあ、それでもお前は。
Kororo? What's wrong? Kororo suddenly began to move, shuffling around in my arms. You want to go to Ignis? As if nodding in affirmation, Kororo rubs his cheek against my arm. Although a bit confused at his sudden demand, I moved Kororo toward Ignis to hand him over and then... What? For some reason, headbutts him, and pretty ruthlessly at that. Kororo's got a little horn on his head too. That one had to have hurt. Sure enough, even Ignis was rubbing at the spot he was practically stabbed in. He shanked your ass, bro. But after jumping at him, Kororo seemed not to care at all, awkwardly climbing up to get onto Ignis's shoulder. Aww, picture! Picture again!
何回しつけてもこの突撃癖は治らねえな。一体何が気に入らねえんだ。
Huh? He's done this before?
ああ、初対面の時、溝落ちに全力でな。
That must have hurt. While my face twisted, imagining how that felt, Dromi called us from afar after presumably having seen what happened.
そうそう兄貴、俺が調べた情報によると、その頭突き。
It's saying that he loves you.
どうもパークスにとっての親愛を表す習性っぽいっすよ。親に甘える時とかと同じ行動らしいっす。
Affection? So does that mean... Even now, Kororo continued rubbing his head on Ignis, or rather, it still looked like he was headbutting him. See, I'm sure Kororo doesn't really understand this all, but he likes you.
は？そんなの知らねえよ。
He probably wasn't used to being liked by a more defenseless species like Kororo, considering his status. That, or he didn't know what to do with this feeling he was having. Ignis turned red, not knowing how to handle the situation. Just then, looking at Ignis's state, Kororo's mouth then began to wriggle. Wiggle, 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 yeah! Aww. What?
は？お前喋れんのかよ。
Right, he can talk. That's so cute. I wish I had a pet that talked. It was a surprise that surmounted even those from knowing the truths behind Bestia or Ignis. Ignis Carbunculus. Wait, do sea demons have enough intelligence to mimic what other people say? Like parrots and parakeets?
かもしんねえな。
All we could do is smile awkwardly at each other at this surprising revelation. You back at Unshot? Oh snap. But that smile didn't last long. The young demon girl from earlier seemed to have found a herd of demon beasts after sneaking out from the territory.
あんたみたいな甘いやつ、いつか痛い目に遭えばいいんだわ。
Along with her goodbye, she told us about what she saw. Rushing to the spot she described, what we found. Oh dang. Gruesome remains of blood. And then...
直視するな。
Canis steps in front of me to block my vision. It was too late though. Demon beasts larger than Kororo that were defenseless and had no ability to fight. So many of these sea demons. Blood was splattered everywhere. Some lay on the ice and others, their lifeless bodies floated in the water. A countless number of them, all dead. The lone assertion told the entire story of what had happened to Kororo's family and friends. Oh, dang. You can't just assume it's his family, though.
海に隠れる間もなくってところかな。
Mr. Demon King closes his eyes and number 2 puts his hands together, offering a prayer. In my arms was that clueless face. It seemed like Kororo didn't understand a single part of the reality we walked into. Or maybe he didn't understand they were fellow demons. They were unrecognizable. Kororo's parents may have been among them, the ones he was desperate to find, having been crying the whole time we tried to do so. But if they were here, now it's... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kororo. I wish we could have just reunited you with your family. Tears fall from my eyes. They streamed as I hugged this helpless child who was just looking for his parents. It was all I could do. You back at Unshot? Oh no, we on chapter 7, y'all. Dang. So it's gonna be my fave guy next. Eee! Okay, right back here. So thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. This was such I don't know, like this chapter just leaves me feeling like just all over the place, just wondering who did that. I'm thinking it's the person that tore me away from all of YEOW. So yeah. I think that right now hopefully leading into number 2, his will be more like angelic and full of the atome and everything, but hopefully it doesn't turn dark. And I can't wait to visit his world. So, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. As far as what I have coming up, you already know about my Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, and there's also the Famicom games that I want to play. That's the Missing Hair Heir and also the Girl Who Stands Behind. I don't know which one I'm gonna get first. I think I'm gonna get the Girl Who Stands Behind first. Of course, you already know. I'm stuck on JoJo's Adventures on Mafia 2, so that's just like a bust for right now. So I'm actually thinking of just going ahead and going to Mafia 3. Also, made a scare. I'm working my way back up to the footage I lost, so that way it's not all discombobulated and stuff. So, making moves slowly but surely. I'm just so blessed that I have a lot of games to play. Like, this is just my wildest dream come true, is just having a whole lot of games to play and not enough time to play it. That's what really sucks. But again, I keep saying this is like my 4th time. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, just your thoughts. Also, what do you think I should play next out of my multitude of games that I already have to play? But much love and much peace, and I'll catch you on the flip side, and have a Flairific day, y'all.